Hello, this is the Witching Hour, and we are on October 11th. 20 days left until Halloween. Hope you're all having a good time out there and you don't have any robed figures following you out of the corner of your eye like I do. And you're ready to listen to some more Witchmaster's Key, Chapter 10, A Wild Ride. We're going to slow it down a little bit now since we're getting kind of close. We're almost halfway through this book already. A fire engine rumbled past, its bell clanging loudly. "Let's follow it," Joe exclaimed. "Right, if there'd been any more sabotage at Eagleton Green, we'd better investigate." By the time the boys reached the scene, firemen were setting the blaze under control. A dozen shops had been damaged, and their owners, who had congregated in the streets, appeared to be stunned by the disaster. Frank addressed the fire chief. "How did it happen?" "Oh, we don't know yet, but it looks suspicious." While scouting around the area, the Hardys noticed that Lance McKnight's locksmith shop was barely scorched, even though it stood between two badly charred buildings. "That's strange," Joe said. "The fire burned through the silversmith shop, jumped over McKnight's, and landed right on the weavers next door." Frank shrugged doubtfully. "I wonder if it's a coincidence, Joe. If McKnight set the fires, he'd made sure he escaped." "That figures." McKnight was working with the firemen. He held the nozzle of a hose and played cascades of water over the burning building. Seeing Frank and Joe, he swiveled toward them. The powerful stream of water hit Frank in the chest. He was knocked off his feet and sent skidding. Joe dealt the same treatment. Drenched, bruised, and shaken, the boys rose to face McKnight, who had given the hose to a fireman to run to his victims. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry," he said effusively. "It was an accident. Really, it was." "So was the London Blitz," Joe said angrily. "Those got out of control," McKnight insisted. "Okay, forget it," Frank said. McKnight seemed relieved, and he went into the silversmith shop where the fire chief was inspecting the damage. "Well, he's a cool customer," Frank exploded. Joe shook the water from his clothes. "He did that deliberately. We got a score to settle with Mr. McKnight." Filtering through the crowd of Eagleton Green craftsmen, the Hardys kept their ears open. They learned the fire had just about ruined the Edison village and its residents. "I'm ready to sell out," a jeweler stated. The thefts in the past few months were bad enough, but the fire and the last straw. Stop packing, say I." "Aye, aye," his neighbor shouted. The village bookbinder raised his voice. "What's the reason for this harassment? Tell me that if you can." "Witchcraft," the potter bellowed. "The robbery at the Witch Museum in Griffinmoor. It let the spirits of the witches loose. The spirits are haunting us." "That's right," said a woman. "There's a lot of haunting at Eagleton Green. Pigs are dying and no one knows why. Horses are falling sick and vets can't cure them." "Sure," another agreed. "If it ain't witchcraft, what is it?" It was depressing to listen to the crestfallen artisans. It appeared that Eagleton Green would not survive. "Frank, look who's coming," Joe said as Professor Rowbotham weaved through the crowd toward them. Puffing, he swung his cane in a wide arc that barely missed Joe, who leaned back to avoid being hit. I am pleased to have found you. I thought you might have been interested in the fire. I came here in hopes of running into you." "What's up, Professor?" Frank inquired. "I have a message for the pair of you. It might help your investigation, but it's not something to discuss here. Suppose we go home. I have my car." At his house, Rowbotham explained that an unidentified man had phoned to say he had vital information about the burglary at the Griffinmoor Witch Museum. Joe became excited. "What kind of information is it? Did he have a suspect for us?" "He refused to say. Indeed, he told me he had sworn an oath never to reveal what he knows about the burglary." Frank looked crestfallen. "So a guy tells you he's got the info and then he tells you he's not telling?" Rowbotham blinked. "Not exactly. I mean, he said he might be released from his oath under certain conditions." Frank perked up. "What conditions?" He wants a meeting at Stonehenge." "You mean," Joe said, "where the cavemen toss those boulders around like marbles?" Rowbotham smiled. "I imagine we're talking about the same place. Yes, Stonehenge, where prehistoric people placed those massive stone blocks in precise arrangement. The Druids used Stonehenge to the religious rituals. The man who phoned said he could speak freely at the Druid altar when the full moon is in the sky, to wit, tomorrow night." Joe chuckled. "Sounds like a lot of hocus-pocus to me. I'm not a Druid." "The man might know something," Rowbotham said solemnly. "He might be a witch." "Or pose as one," Frank remarked. "This could be a setup." Rowbotham looked puzzled. "A setup? I'm not familiar with that term." "A trap," Frank interrupted. He might want to ambush us, Joe said, down where the druids play. Rowbotham looked dubious. I think we should take the risk. My informant might unravel the mystery for us. At least you boys will see Stonehenge. I'll be your guide to the ruins. The three talked it over, and the Hardys at last agreed to go. Rowbotham said he would drive them the 100 miles or so to Stonehenge, and if they could return to Griffinmoor immediately, if the man did not appear. And we're going to leave off there. They have a little bit more conversation with Professor Rowbotham, probably, but they're going to go to Stonehenge to investigate witches. So I hope this is still fun for you, and The Witchmaster's Key is a very creepy and cursed book, and we're going to play a nice little game about a dog today.
I need my equipment to make the perfect doghouse.
So here's a game called Doghouse. I can't really do much. We're going to turn the volume down a little bit. It doesn't have a whole lot of options. I need my equipment to make the perfect doghouse. Hi, dog. No conversation with my dog. He's just a dog. Okay, let's get my equipment. Here's a saw. This is a spooky game. Apparently, the dog is supposed to get weird, so we'll see what happens. Here's a drill. Nothing weird so far. That door texture is weird. Do we need this wood?
It's still not enough. I need to check the garage.
The cement. I need to check the garage. We need to go in the garage. No, there's a hammer over here. We get the hammer.
It's not big enough to hold you.
That's not normal. We need another drill, I guess. And whatever this is, a lock. And then these planks.
Shut the door.
Then I have to shut the door. And yeah, it really was the whole thing. It's just a short game. So that was creepy. I was still creeped out by that. It's not big enough to hold him. So I hope you enjoyed Doghouse. And I'll put the link to the game on itch.io if you want to play that yourself. It's bizarre. And kind of makes up for the length of Pumpkin Eater. You all have a great day, and we'll see you next time tomorrow for more Witching Hour.